kind of involved, as you might imagine, okay? So with our door, we are going to start with a regular box, and then I'll show you how to make it an arched doorway. After the door, I think I'm gonna stop and I'll come back and show you guys some other fun stuff. I'm really long-winded, so I can't make these videos short enough to fit on the YouTube, you know? Okay. So my doorway is gonna be on the right-hand side because I have a lot of room to work there. So I'm gonna start with a line from my top vanishing point for the edge of my door. I'm gonna do another line from the top for the other edge of my doorway. And then I'm gonna do a line from the right vanishing point for the top of my doorway, okay? Of course, I did that with my vector tool. You guys need to do it with your ruler. Now that I have those 3 lines drawn in, I'm gonna draw the arched doorway. Now, in order to start the arched doorway, you first have to establish your perspective center. So the center when you're looking at someone straight on is perfectly in the middle, okay? When they shift, their center goes further over to the right or left vanishing point. So since I'm working on the right, my center is gonna be a little bit closer to the right vanishing point. In order to establish exactly where that center is, you're gonna line up opposite corners on your door. Top left to bottom right, top right, bottom left. That point right there is the center of my door, okay? In order to establish where the highest point of my arc is going to go, I'm gonna line my ruler up with the center of that X and my vanishing point 3. And I'm going to draw a line that protrudes upward. Remember, this is not a vertical. That line is going to vanishing point 3, okay? Now, I definitely can't draw this in with my vector tool, but I'm just going to draw in the arched doorway. This is the highest point. It's gonna curve down to meet the right, curve down to meet the left, all right? Now, there's like a really specific way to draw arcs in that in perspective, but this is kind of like the easiest way I could show you how, okay? The edges, then I would like trace over the edges of my doorway so you guys could see those. You would erase all the lines on the inside. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw in some planks going across our doorway, okay? I'm gonna do a doorway that's like kind of halfway open. So, you know what, let me just draw that in with the red since I have it out. I'm gonna line up with my right vanishing point, and I'm gonna start drawing in some planks that go across. So here's 1, 2, the castle would be made of stone, this would be made of wood. So you'd probably want to later on do like a, a stone or brick texture and do wood on these guys, okay? I'm gonna do one more. Okay, so since my doorway is open, I'm gonna stop there. If your doorway were not open, you would continue those lines going all the way down and they would start to slant the opposite direction, okay? All right, so there's my open door. In order to make my doorway look 3-dimensional, remember that's when you have to go to your opposite side vanishing point. So I'm gonna line up, let me push you back a little bit so you can actually see my vanishing points again. Okay, so I'm gonna take that bottom right corner over to my left vanishing point. And I'm just gonna take it all the way over there, okay? So what we're looking at here, if all these lines were erased, this would be like the wall that I'm looking at. So like kind of like the doorway as you're walking in that big door, we're looking at the wall here, okay? And then the bottom part would be the floor. So I'm not gonna shade in the floor. I'm just gonna try to shade in that wall a little bit darker. And I'm gonna do some hatching lines in here. If you guys look really closely at the examples I did on that bulletin board, they will have a lot of hatching lines in there, all right? Yeah, and this would be the floor part. So I'm gonna draw in like a footprint there so you remember that's the floor. Okay, there you have it. So that's a 3D castle doorway. If you wanna do kind of like a drawbridge and strings, let's go ahead and do that really fast. We are actually going to make up like a whole other vanishing point. There are projects that go up in vanishing points, like to 4 and 5 vanishing points, but we're just gonna kind of make this one up, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come out from this corner, the bottom corner of our door. It's gonna get larger as it goes out towards the edge. Same thing with this bottom corner, larger out towards the edge. Honestly, I think it's probably best if you just continue this all the way across, like there's a really huge drawbridge. But mine's kind of ending up super long. I don't really want it to look that long. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just close it off with a line from my right. So wherever you want yours to end, you could just close it off with a line to your right like I did. So I'm gonna have mine end there. And now, again, this would be made of wood, so I'm gonna have my drawbridge have some of these planks going across. You'd probably wanna draw these all the way over, but I'm just trying to do a quick example for you guys. These are all coming from the right vanishing point. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a little bit of the left side of my drawbridge. So I'm gonna continue the side of my door down, just straight. So that's where my drawbridge would end. And I'm gonna do another line, okay? I'm making this one up, but it's gonna get a little bit farther away from this line as I get towards the bottom, okay? So they start off kind of close, get a little bit farther towards that bottom edge. Now these on the edge would have to continue. Let me continue a few of these over. Should have done this the first time, right? Then I wouldn't have to go back in and do more work. Be that a lesson for you guys, okay? So these lines, let's see, these lines continued. Where these lines meet at the corner, I'm just gonna come down with a line from vanishing point 3. Remember, there are no verticals. These all come from vanishing point 3. All right, so there's my drawbridge. The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw some chains that go to the edge of my drawbridge. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need to do a line here. And this one I'm gonna kind of need to guess a little bit, okay? So I'm just gonna go down kind of vertical. And then again, this one's gonna get skinnier as it goes out towards that way. Or I'm sorry, wider as it goes out. Yeah, so there's the end of my drawbridge, a little bit wider. Okay, so now from this point right here, I'm gonna do a chain that connects up to the edge of my door. So I'm gonna connect to like the wider edge of my door right here, right below the arc, and the wider edge right here, okay? This one you'll be able to see a clear chain, which by the way, if you wanna do more detail on this chain than just a straight line, you can actually draw in tiny little chain links. In this one, if you actually had room on your table, what I would recommend, and this is the only time I'd ever tell you to do this, but is to draw on your table. Oh, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because the bell's ringing. But anyway, I would actually draw on the table to estimate where that corner would go, and then I would connect from there to there, okay? And again, you could go in and give your chain some detail. If you wanna get really detailed with it, you could actually draw in like a chain link like this, where you see one link overlapping the other, but just be prepared to do some serious mind work on that one, okay? Or what you could do if you have a straight line, you could just kind of draw these circles over and then just call it a chain link. That'd work too, okay? All right, good luck.